Hey guys, we're gonna play a little game here called Do you like my chest? Look what this did! My pecs saved this part of my skin from getting sunburned. Yes, I'm an idiot. Yes, I got sunburned. Yes, I know better, but you don't get a base, especially me, by being cautious. So I got my sunburn. Did I learn my lesson? No. Am I gonna do it again? More likely. Um, but most of my hike was in the woods, so I'm not really sure. Obviously, the dappled shade wasn't dappled enough. Um, so today's hot topic of what are we gonna do? Whew. So I had somebody that started talking to me. This is my fun. I had somebody start talking to me on Scruff, and went hard and heavy. He was really interested. Watched some of my stuff on Twitter. Was like, "Oh, you're really handsome." Blah 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 blah. And I said, "Oh, okay." I said, "Let's see about this." I said, "Would you? We should go." I said, "For one of our dates, what we should do is," and I listed out like this really insanely cool date. I've been thinking about an insanely cool date with this guy. And he's like, "That sounds really good." I said, "But first we need our first date because that's more like a down the road thing." And he goes, "Okay, that sounds cool." I said, "Okay, what about Saturday? What are you doing?" And then it was just dead silence until late last night. I talked about that this morning when I got a note that basically said, "You live too far away." And I'm like, "It's 68 miles." And his response was, "Well, it's a long distance, blah blah blah. I'm not looking for a long distance relationship." And I'm sitting there like, I drove to Lexington. That's 10 miles from here to go on a date. What is 68 miles? It's not that much. And I was just really confused. So a little while later, and I basically just went in and took a snapshot of it on my phone, and then, no, actually I can't because it's not allowed in Scruff. I read it, wrote it down, copied it over into here on Twitter. Ow, that hurts. No, the muscle. Um, and I'm just trying to go through it like, what the fuck? I don't understand. And then he responds again with, "Well, I realize that this isn't really all that far, but I'm just not looking for any kind of distance in the relationship." And I'm like, "I'm going to teach you some things, young men and women of the world. If somebody is going to tell you that distance is an issue, especially, yes, distance can be an issue. If you say, 'Hey, I really like you, but I live in Texas,' I'll be like, that's a long ways away. I would be trying to figure out how to come see you or move or etc. for a very long time until I finally just gave up. I would give up. Maybe you're my person. Maybe I would go, done. But we don't know that. But for you to say, okay, 68 miles is just too far, and it's like, you're gonna find an excuse to not go out with me. I don't need that. Nobody needs that. But I especially don't need that. And you did not waste my time. You didn't waste my time. I'm going to teach you a funny. I don't even remember his name now. I have completely run what he put. The part of where I store individuals, his section just got like wiped. If I saw him out in public, probably within the next day or two, I wouldn't know who he was. So by Saturday, it'll be like, "Hey, I'm AJ." It'll be like, "Hey, I'm so and so." Okay. Say that like I'm supposed to know you. "Yeah, we talked." Did we? Did we really? Huh. Thanks. Obviously, if we talked and it's past tense, you're not a person. So move along. And that's how you should treat it. That's how you should do most of your things. It sounds really cold and heartless, but at the same time, if you've proven that you're not my person, why are you bothering me? don't need it. You don't need it. Obviously you didn't think enough of me to, put in an effort, especially at this one. I had a number of people that put in effort and then back off. And you're like, what did I do wrong? Nah, you didn't stop. You didn't do anything wrong. I did everything like I should. You were either incapable of loving me as is, which, okay, that's your worst. You find your right person. Or the converse of that is there's something going on with you that makes it so that you wouldn't want to be with somebody like me, because I will sit there and be my cute, charming self, and slowly, as the walls come down, all your dirty secrets come out. And it's really weird when that happens, but at the same time, it's kind of interesting to have people feel that comfortable with you that they can say, this happened to me. And I'm like, oh, that doesn't change my opinion of you. It doesn't? No. It's not your fault. You didn't do that. There are many instances of things where you just go, wow, I have to process this, because that was a lot of information. And now I'm questioning what is going on here. I had a guy, basically, we started talking on Facebook because he was friends of a friend, and he's like, hey, you seem like a really cool guy. I'm like, yeah, I'm a really cool guy. And we start talking, and all of a sudden it turns into, he calls me, and we're talking, and this is, like I'm on my hike, so it's like 2 hours. We get into about 45 minutes of nonstop back and forth. And all of a sudden, I'm learning all about the horrors of his medical history and all the garbage that he has to go through. And I'm sitting there like, why are you telling me this? And I'm okay with it. I mean, and it just gets to the point where he stops. And he says, I've never told anybody any of that. And I'm like, I don't know why you told me that. I'm comfortable with what you're saying, but this was a lot. And he's like, well, I just really feel like we have a great connection, blah, blah, blah. In this case, the answer was no. And it wasn't because of any of his medical issues, but it was because that was just like the tip of the iceberg. Sorry. If you have no job and you barely make things work for you, probably not your person. I'm not materialistic at all. I want a house, I want a garden, I want some dogs. Outside of that, it's like, well, the house, I don't want a big house because I don't want to have to take care of it. I mean, big house there's a lot of work. I've had a big house before. It was 3,100 square feet. There was 3 floors. It was a lot of work. I don't want to go through that again. I did most of it. My ex was really fun. But like, if you watch me and how driven I am at work and all the effort I put into getting things to the point where I can just kind of slough off, and I've been sloughing off for quite a bit, like recently, because my ducks are in a row. I have everything in order. I've worked hard to get there. Are there more things I could be doing? I don't know what they would be, to be quite honest. So I put in a lot of effort so I can not have to drive myself so hard. I'm looking for somebody else that has they're like, this is my career and it's here and I need it to be here. And I need to figure out how to do that. And I'll be like, well, these are my suggestions. Take the ones you like, ignore the ones you don't. That's what I'm looking for. So, obviously it's going to take the right person, and that's going to take, a lot of looking, which is why, whereas I'm whining about trying to find the right person, it's difficult. And even I understand that I'm not going to just walk out and go, because it hasn't happened yet. And we're going to wait and see how this pans out for everybody. But so far, I'm enjoying who I'm becoming and what I'm doing with my world. And hopefully I can get all of this back into an encapsulated spot where I'm not worried about going out and meeting people, which currently I'm not. It's awful. Having to learn a new person. I don't even bother with names anymore. It's just the blonde guy, or the cute guy from New Jersey, or, you know, something like that. They just have faces. And then when they finally just wander off and I don't hear from them, I just grind up that little bit, throw it away. Clear up the storage space for somebody that actually might pan out, which, you know, we'll see. So look at that burn. It looks worse than it feels. I love you guys. I love you, dude.